Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening. This is the National News Telecast. I'm Uvin Hettiarachchi.
A pleasant evening. I'm Vilanjali Ananda, and these are the headlines for tonight.
Former Minister Rajitha Senaratne remanded until the 9th of September. Venerable Athururiye Ratanathera and Nimal Lanza also remanded. Bail refused for Shashendra Rajpaksha. President instructs to streamline school systems and reform curricula. Colombo Stock Exchange exceeds 21,000 point threshold for the first time. Investigations to be expedited regarding the 10,000 persons who disappeared before the year 2000. A commemorative 2,000 rupee currency note on the 75th anniversary of the central bank. Central Bank Governor receives a A grade in the Global Finance's 2025 Central Banker Report Card. 108 couples married at the same Covil. South Korea indicts former First Lady and former Prime Minister. On to those and more stories in detail on today's top story. Former Minister Rajitha Senaratne, who has been issued with an arrest warrant, has been remanded until the 9th of September, when he was produced before the Colombo Magistrates Court.
It has also been ordered by the court that the suspect should be presented before the commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption at 9 a.m. on the 3rd of next month. Rajitha Senaratne, who was in prison custody under orders of the Colombo High Court, was presented before the court by prison authorities when the case was taken up for hearing at the Colombo Magistrates Court today. Deputy Director of the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption told the court that the investigations commenced as per an anonymous complaint received in 2013 when the suspect was the Minister of Fisheries. She pointed out that the suspect had taken steps to hand over a project to Korean Seaweed Company to dredge the Kirin the fisheries harbour and issue sand to the market after purification. She also said that a sum of more than 26.2 million rupees was incurred as a loss to the government through the deal. Since the suspect was absconding investigations, the Colombo Magistrates Court issued a warrant on the 12th of August this year. The President's Counsel, appearing for suspect Rajitha Senaratne, pointed out that his client could not be present at the Bribery Commission on the 2nd of July due to ill health. After considering facts of both the parties, the Colombo Chief Magistrate issuing his order said that the suspect has the right to enjoy privileges stipulated by law and that right is accepted by the court. He added that it is clear to the court that the suspect from the beginning until now did not appear before the Bribery Commission in order to avoid in getting a statement or providing a statement recorded by him. The Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption has been compelled to take legal steps under the 5th chapter of Criminal Procedure Code. If bail is granted to the suspect under the circumstances, he might not assist in the investigation process. In such a scenario, it will hamper the investigations, the magistrate pointed out. He ordered the suspect to be kept under remand custody, rejecting his request for bail.
Former parliamentarian Venerable Athururiye Ratanathera has been remanded until the 12th of next month. The court had issued a warrant to the Venerable Thera, and he Thera appeared before the Nugegoda Magistrate Court in noon today. The court proceedings is being conducted regarding investigations on allegations of abducting the Venerable Vimalatissa Thera and keeping the Thera in a confinement in order to receive the National Party list seat given to the Apejana Balaya Party during the 2020 general election. From Sri Lanka Podijana Peramuna parliamentarian Nimal Lanza and former urban councillor have been remanded until the 12th of September by the Negombo magistrate. He faces an allegation of conducting firing and after entering a house of a resident in Kochikad area on the 8th of March 2006 at night with a group of 100 persons, looting the property and gold jewellery valued at 2.8 million rupees, along with committing a non-bailable offence under the Clause 26 of the Firearms Act. Colombo Magistrate Court rejected today a request for bail for former State Minister Shashendra Rajpaksha, who is under the remand custody at present on corruption allegations. Accordingly, the Colombo Chief Magistrate Asanka Bodaragama ordered the suspect to be remanded until the 12th of September. The magistrate stated that the facts that define the court under the Public Property Act has been represented in his bail and rejected in order to keep him under present custody. The magistrate ordered the commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption and to present evidence of the witness during the next hearing of the case.
President Kumar Dissanayake instructed officials of the Ministry of Education to focus on strengthening the school system and reforming curricula to ensure that every child receives a quality education. He also emphasized the need to allocate the necessary resources to meet the objectives of the government's education reforms. The President gave these instructions during the 2026 pre-budget discussion of the Ministry of Education, Higher Education and Vocational Education held today at the Presidential Secretariat. The advancements of the projects carried out in the three areas of general education, higher education and vocational education, along with the issues and challenges that have emerged, were scrutinized separately in light of the budget allocations designated for the Ministry of Education, Higher Education and Vocational Education for the year 2025. It is also focused attention on the ministry's future plans under the vision of reaching excellence in the global society through skilled citizens who uphold the Sri Lankan identity. The President outlined the need to update long-running school projects and strengthen primary education and school development programs. The President has also directed that the comprehensive National Vocational Education Plan be developed with the assistance of the Vocational Education Division of the Ministry of Education rather than relying on the various vocational education programs currently spread across the country. The discussion also covered plans to strengthen the vocational education sector, including modernization of 50 vocational training institutes and development of 9 excellence centers during the 2026-2030 period. The meeting was attended by Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya and a group of ministers and parliamentarians.
The all-share price index of the Colombo Stock Exchange crossed the 21,000 threshold today. According to the CSE, this marks the first time in history that ASPI has reached the 21,000 point threshold during daily trading. The Colombo Stock Exchange said the index surpassed the significant milestone at approximately 11 a.m. today. The ASPI rose by 203.71 points compared to previous trading day, recording a total of 21,003.97 points.
Marking the 75th anniversary of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, a new commemorative 2,000 rupee currency note was presented this morning to President Kumar Dissanayake at the Presidential Secretariat by the Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe. This commemorative note issued to mark the anniversary is the 5th commemorative currency note released by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, reflecting the bank's unwavering commitment to strengthening economic stability as the foundation for national development. The note has been issued under the anniversary theme, Stability for Prosperity. Participating in the event were Secretary to the President, Dr. Nandika Sanatkumar Naika, and top officials of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. An art exhibition organized in line with the 75th anniversary of the Central Bank is being held at the Central Point building in Colombo. This exhibition is included 75 drawings selected out of 300 drawings presented to all-island competition. The exhibition is open for public from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. tomorrow as well. Distribution of certificates and prizes for the winners of the arts competition was held yesterday under the patronage of the Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe. Meanwhile, according to the latest report issued by the Global Finance magazine, Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe, has been named as a grade governor of the Central Bank among the governors of the global central banks.
2 persons were reported dead in a road accident which occurred at Elbata along the Horopatana main road last evening. The victims were a 10-year-old female student and a 27-year-old assistant of a lorry. It is reported that the lorry bound to Anuradhapura from Vavuniya transporting glass had veered off the road since the driver fell asleep. The lorry had knocked against a safety fence nearby in a bridge. The female student studying in grade 5 at Morakadava Vidyalaya was heading towards her home at the time of the accident. Northwestern Provincial Governor Tissa Vanani arrived at the Kuliyapitiya Hospital to look into the health of students who were injured during the Kuliyapitiya van accident. Governor of the Northwestern Province, Tissa Vanani said that all people requested to stop the repetition of tragedies in the future. The government held special discussions yesterday with senior DIG in this connection. The government measures will be revealed in another 2 weeks. No one will be allowed to act in an indisciplined manner. School Buses and Van Drivers Association of Puttalam District requested the relevant authorities to limit heavy vehicles, including tippers, during school time. The drivers of the Van Association said that there should be a limit to measures of heavy vehicles during school time.
A special meeting was held in the morning yesterday between the Health Minister of India and Minister of Health and Mass Media, Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa, who is at present on an official tour in India. Special attention was paid during discussions to various aspects of strengthening health systems of Sri Lanka. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa met Health and Family Welfare Minister of India, Sri Jagat Prakash Nadda, and Minister of State SMT Anupriya Patel. Health ministers of the two countries extensively held discussions on main points such as strengthening of the primary health system in Sri Lanka, process of supplying pharmaceuticals, technical equipment for health services, program to digitalize health systems and procuring modern technical equipment for the health services. It has been mentioned during this discussion that the Indian government is implementing a program to establish one primary health center each, focusing around 3,000 to 5,000 people in order to confront non-communicable diseases. The Health Minister of India told Sri Lankan Minister of Health that around 150,000 such primary health centers are being established, and a program is also being implemented in order to upgrade the condition of those primary health centers. The Sri Lankan Minister of Health is due to inspect the establishment of primary health centers being conducted at present in India and the upgradation program of the same. The program organized for the Sri Lankan delegation include cooperation with the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha of that country, observation of the Parliament sessions and Parliament library, and responsibility of Indian media, Parliament Working Committee system, higher education, public health, parliamentary privileges and ethics. The delegation inspected the Health Excellence Centre and also held discussions with the senior officials of India Commerce and Industrial Board Association. The meeting with Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla was of special significance during the tour, and the Speaker warmly welcomed the Sri Lankan delegation. He pointed out that on this occasion that parliamentary cooperation between Sri Lanka and India will be strengthened along with bilateral relations in areas such as health, media and education.
"108 couples expecting marriage entered into marriage at a Scoville in Jaffna.
These couples are from low-income families in 15 divisional secretariat areas in the Jaffna district. They entered into marriage live according to Hindu traditions. A businessman in Singapore has made financial contributions for this event. Each couple were given half a sovereign worth gold pendant. We'll be back with more news from home after this break.
நாம் அனைவரும் நாம் இருக்கும் இடத்திலிருந்து ஒரு படி மேலே செல்லவே முயற்சி செய்கின்றோம். பல கனவுகளை சுமந்த வண்ணம் வெளிநாட்டுக்கு சென்றது வாழ்க்கையில் வெற்றி பெறலாம் என்று நினைத்துக் கொண்டு, ஆனால் ஆராய்ந்து பார்க்காமல் நாங்கள் தேர்வு செய்த பாதை பிழைத்து போனது. சமூக வலைத்தளங்களுக்கூடாக குற்றங்களை செய்ய நிர்பந்திக்கப்பட்டோம். எவரது பாதுகாப்பு மற்ற ஓரிடத்தில் இணைய குற்றவாளிகளுக்கு நான் இரையாகிவிட்டேன். யாருமே அந்த கஷ்டத்தை அனுபவிக்க கூடாது.
மனித விற்பனையில் ஈடுபடுதல், அதனை ஆதரித்தல் பாரிய குற்றமாகும். பாதுகாப்பான ஒரு தேசத்திற்காக விழிப்புடன் நாம். நீங்கள்
கவனமா போயிட்டீங்க தானே?
குழந்தைய பாக்குற வேலைன்னு சொன்னாலும் 7-8 குடும்பங்களோட எல்லா வேலையும் நான் செய்ய வேண்டியிருக்கு. நாங்க ஏமாந்துட்டோம். நினைச்சதை விட இங்க வேலை கஷ்டமா இருக்கு.
மகன் என்ன தேடுறானா?
அம்மா நல்லா இருக்கேன் தானே?
எனக்கு இந்த மாசம் சம்பளம் கூட தரல. நான் அதை கேட்ட நேரம் என்ன ரொம்ப மோசமா அடிச்சாங்க. கொஞ்சம் அந்த ஏஜென்சிக்கு கதைச்சு பாக்குறீங்களா?
அது ஒரு போலி ஏஜென்சி வசந்தி. அது இப்போ அந்த இடத்துலயே இல்ல. எங்களை கூட்டிட்டு போன விமல் அண்ணாவும் இல்ல.
இதுக்கு மேல என்னால சத்தியமா தாங்கிக்க முடியல. எனக்கு உங்ககிட்ட திரும்ப வரணும். இதை நாங்க யாருக்கிட்ட சொல்லலாம்?
மனித விற்பனையில் ஈடுபடுதல், அதனை ஆதரித்தல் பாரிய குற்றமாகும். பாதுகாப்பான ஒரு தேசத்திற்காக விழிப்புடன் நாம். நீங்கள்
Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Welcome back. A ceremony organized by the Office for Missing Persons was held today in line with the International Day of commemorating persons of forced disappearance.
It was held at the Temple Trees under the patronage of Minister of Justice and National Integration, Harshana Nanaikara. Addressing the ceremony, Minister Harshan Nanaikara said that measures will be taken to start investigations over 10,000 complaints lodged regarding the missing persons reported from both North and South before the year 2000. The Office of the Reparation and Missing Persons will take action to start a new strategy in this connection. Minister Bimal Ratnayaka, Deputy Minister of National Integration Mohammed Munir, UN Country Representative Mark Andrew Frank and officials of the Office of Missing Persons and relatives of the missing persons were also present at the occasion.
But this government is very focused on getting things done. That's why even initially when I gave 2 weeks, even the Human Rights Commissioner who was here was wondering why for such an important law only 2 weeks were given. But the reality is that we have done enough research, we have contributed enough. I wanted to get things done fast. But even after that 2 weeks of initial consultations, more and more opinions came in written form, they were taken in. So even here, I would prefer that the month of September will be the month I will tender the copies to President and others, public, so we will have a wide public consultation and not just the 2-week window of the Supreme Court. So it will be a more meaningful law for the people of this country where their rights are protected as well as the country is safe from global threats of terror. One must understand that we recognize the plight of the victims of missing persons. They are a special category. But this government pay them that cannot match their grievance or their loss. What they require is continuous support, not just financial, but education opportunities, social assistance, psychosocial support, sometimes simple social help.
Minister Kedilal Kanta says that solutions will be provided to many number of key problems in the agricultural sector by 2028. The minister made this observation during a function held at the Pulanara District Secretariat Auditorium yesterday. Minister Kedilal Kanta said that during a recent morning visit to a reservoir, there was not a drop of water to be seen. He explained that lotus plants, reeds and grass had completely covered the area, making it difficult to identify the reservoir itself. The minister stated that restoration work would begin there and emphasized that all agricultural development must be linked to reservoir rehabilitation as every aspect of the agriculture remains uncertain. He noted that market issues also persist and therefore a new program has been launched to find solutions to all challenges faced by farmers. According to him, by 2028, the government aims to provide answers to the problems raised by the farming community. He stressed that cultivation should not be undertaken without an understanding of the market. Referring to recent shortages of crops like potatoes and problems with sale and water, he said many farmers cultivate without clarity on where, to whom and at what price their produce will be sold. The minister further added that the government is now preparing a proper system so that every farmer will know in advance which consumer their harvest is intended for and at what price it can be sold.
The National Strategic Plan to clear landmines for the period of 2025 to 2027 was presented yesterday at the BMICH premises. The program to relocate people of the clear areas cleared is also being implemented. The plan was presented at President Anukumara Dissanayake recently. At present, an area of 1,308 square kilometers has been cleared and another 22 square kilometers is to be cleared. Accordingly, the strategic plan, the process of clearing landmines will end by 2028. Minister Anukaruna Tilaka led that function, which was attended by National Director of Sri Lanka National Mine Centre, government representative, officials of the Sri Lankan Army and a group of others. Minister Anukaruna Tilaka, although many areas have been not yet completely cleared of landmines, the government expects to clear Polonnaruwa and Ranarawa districts fully mine-free within the next year. He further said that the next stage during the coming year, efforts will be made to declare Jaffna, Ampara, Batiklo, Trincomalee as mine-free areas as well.
Hajj and Umrah Committee member L.M. Naval says that the government has arranged a program to conduct Hajj pilgrimage properly next year. He made these comments during a media briefing held yesterday at the Department of Muslim Religious and Cultural Affairs. Hajj and Umrah Committee member L.M. Nawawi said that the government of Saudi Arabia applies various conditions every year for Hajj pilgrimage and 92 persons had registered for this year's pilgrimage. The registration of representatives is being done by the department annually after 2 months of the completion of the Hajj pilgrimage. The department has called for applications for the registration of these institutions since the Saudi government had imposed various conditions regarding the pilgrimage. Arrangements are also being made to register those who intend to go on Hajj pilgrimage. So far, nearly 2,500 persons have been registered. The Indonesian Navy's newest frigate, Rupavahini 320, has arrived at Colombo port on the transit visit from Italy to Indonesia. The ship's arrival highlights growing defense and maritime cooperation between Indonesia and Sri Lanka. Rupavahini 320 is one of the 2 modern frigates acquired from Italian shipbuilder Fincantieri and was officially handed over to the Indonesian Navy in July this year. The vessel is travelling from the Fincantieri shipyard in Mujano to Indonesia, stopping in Colombo for refueling and logistics. The ship carries 165 personnel, including 32 commissioned officers, 74 non-commissioned officers, 52 enlisted personnel, and a small detachment of special forces and a medical officer. A diplomatic reception was held on board on the frigate during its stay, hosted by the Indonesian ambassador to Sri Lanka, Dewi Gustina Tobing, and the ship's commanding officer, Colonel John David Nalakshakti Sondak. Guests included Sri Lanka's Navy Commander, Vice Admiral Kanchana Banagoda, along with ambassadors, high commissioners and defence officials. The Indonesian government expressed appreciation for Sri Lanka's warm welcome, calling the visit a symbol of strong bilateral ties and ongoing naval cooperation in the Indian Ocean region.
The visit is a very special occasion, marking the maiden voyage of one of the newest Indonesian Navy ships, which was delivered from Italy and is now on its way home to Indonesia. The presence of this vessel in Colombo is also a reflection of the close ties and mutual trust between Indonesia and Sri Lanka. The vessel KRI Brawijaya 320 represents a major milestone in Indonesia's naval capabilities. It is designed to perform a wide range of missions, including frontline operations, maritime patrol, rescue, and civil protection. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Colombo Port in Sri Lanka has long been an important stopover for Indonesian Navy ships on various international missions. Between December 2024 and February 2025 alone, 3 of our vessels berthed here consecutively for logistic replenishment before continuing their assignment. These visits reflect modern operational necessity. They demonstrate Indonesia's active role in global peacekeeping operations, multinational maritime exercises, operations, and defense diplomacy.
The Met Department says that the sun will be directly overhead today in some areas of the island. The Met Department informs that this phenomenon will be in the case of many parts of Sri Lanka until the 7th of September. Duty meteorologist of the Department of Meteorology, Naval Bandara, said that from 28th August to 7th September, the sun will be passed directly overhead Sri Lanka as it moves southwards. He explained that this phenomenon will happen at around 11:40 a.m. each day. According to him, showers can be expected in areas of southern, Sabaragamu and Sel provinces as well as Galle and Mathura districts. He added that there is also a possibility of rainfall in the northwestern province. The meteorologist further noted that the hilly areas and the northern and north central and western and northwestern provinces as well as Trincomalee and Hambantota districts, wind speeds could occasionally increase between 40 to 50 kilometers per hour. Now for several developmental news items. Foundation stone was laid recently for the new building of Hiruluava Left Bank Mahavidyalaya at Galimbidunuava in Anuradhapura. The North Central Provincial Council has allocated 22.1 million rupees for the project. Under the first stage, 4 classrooms are to be constructed. The school is not provided with the new classrooms for many years. During the past regimes, the administration of the school had to conduct studies in makeshift classrooms with support of parents. Construction of houses for new low-income family at Galabadagama in Borolanda, Valimada commenced yesterday under the House of All program. The housing development will spend 1 million rupees for the house, an amount of provided for the recipient as an aid. We will be back with foreign news after a short break.
அழகா இருக்க எங்களுக்கும் ஆசைதான். ஆனா எங்களுக்கும் யாராவது இருந்திருந்தா.
என் வயசு பிள்ளைங்க பாடசாலைக்கு போய் படிக்க இல்ல, கடையில கஷ்டப்பட்டு வேலை செய்ய வேண்டியிருக்கு.
நானும் ஒரு சின்ன பிள்ளை. எங்களை வீதியில தள்ளி விட்டப்போ தடுக்கிறதுக்கு யாருமே இருக்கல.
ஹலோ, மனித விற்பனைக்கு எதிரான தேசிய செயலணி.
மனித விற்பனையில் ஈடுபடுதல், அதனை ஆதரித்தல் பாரிய குற்றமாகும். பாதுகாப்பான ஒரு தேசத்திற்காக விழிப்புடன் நாம். நீங்கள்
எல்லா வாக்குறுதிகளும் நம்ப கூடியதும் இல்ல, வழிகாட்ட முன்வார எல்லாரும் நல்லவங்களும் இல்ல. எங்க கனவெல்லாம் பயன்படுத்தி சிலர் நாங்க நினைக்காத அளவு எங்களை அணுக முயற்சிக்கிறாங்க. ஒரு அழகான சிரிப்புக்கு பின்னால நிறைய தீய விஷயங்கள் ஒளிஞ்சிருந்தது. அதை நான் புரிஞ்சு கொள்ளும் போது அவர் என்னை ஏற்கனவே விலை பேசி கொடுத்துட்டார். இதை நான் யார்கிட்ட சொல்வேன்? இதுல இருந்து எப்படி நான் தப்பிப்பேன்?
மனித விற்பனையில் ஈடுபடுதல், அதனை ஆதரித்தல் பாரிய குற்றமாகும். பாதுகாப்பான ஒரு தேசத்திற்காக விழிப்புடன் நாம். நீங்கள்
Now in foreign news, in South Korea, former First Lady Kim Kyung-hee has been indicted on 3 major charges, including stock manipulation, election interference and bribery.
It is the first time in the country's constitutional history that both a former president and a First Lady will stand trial together while in custody. The special counsel investigating Kim carried out raids linked to alleged bribery. This included the residence of National Education Commission Chairman Lee By-yong, who is accused of giving Kim a gold turtle in exchange for his appointment. Investigators also searched the home of Lee's son-in-law, a former Prime Minister's aide, after claims that luxury gifts were offered in return for official favors. Kim has denied receiving jewellery, calling the allegations untrue. She has apologized for causing public concern but said she will not make excuses.
Thailand's Constitutional Court has dismissed Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra from the office, ruling that the leaked phone conversation between the Cambodia's former leader amounted to a serious breach of ethical standards. The decision ended her premiership just over a year after taking office. The ruling followed a petition by 36 senators who argued that the recording showed she was unqualified for service. The court voted 6-3 to remove her, with judges ruling that her dismissal is effective from July 1st. When she was first suspended, the cabinet must also step down but will remain in a caretaker role. In her response, Paetongtarn accepted the decision but denied wrongdoing, saying that the conversation was intended for national interest, not for personal gain. She thanked the citizens for their support and urged lawmakers to work towards a political stability.
Protests are taking place across Indonesia after the death of a motorcycle taxi driver who was struck by a police vehicle on Thursday night. Demonstrations that began in Jakarta have spread to other major cities including Surabaya, Badung and Medan. The protests are also highlighting wider concerns about jobs, wages and the rising costs of living. In Jakarta and Surabaya, police used tear gas and water cannons to disperse crowds. Some protesters threw stones while officers with shields moved in to control the situation. Student groups met with the Metro Jaya police chief, calling for senior officers involved in the incident to face trial and for detained protesters to be released. The police chief confirmed that 7 officers were found in breach of the professional code of ethics. Now, Sri Lanka won the first one-day international against Zimbabwe by 7 runs in a nail-biting finish at Harare Stadium in Zimbabwe.
Chasing a victory target of 299 runs for Zimbabwe, were 291 for 4 wickets at the end of 50 overs. The crucial hat-trick by Dilshan Madhushankar turned the game in Sri Lanka's favour. Zimbabwe, winning the toss, decided to field first. Pathum Nissanka and Nishan Madhushankar opened the Sri Lankan innings. Nishan Madhushankar was out without scoring, while Pathum Nissanka and Kusal Mendis built a strong partnership for 100 runs. For the second wicket, Pathum Nissanka recorded the 17th ODI half-century of his career today. Sri Lanka lost the wicket of Kusal Mendis for 38 runs when Pathum Nissanka scored 76 runs. Sadhiro Samarawickrama made a valuable contribution of 35 runs. Kamithu Mendis and Johnny Lianage consolidated Sri Lankan innings with a brilliant 137-run partnership for the 6th wicket. Kamithu Mendis also scored his 3rd half-century of his career. He scored 57 runs. Johnny Lianage scored an unbeaten 70 runs, which is the 6th ODI half-century of his career. His innings of 47 balls included 6 boundaries and 3 sixes. Sri Lanka put up a commanding total of 298 runs, losing 6 wickets, which has been recorded as the highest total in an ODI match by Sri Lanka at the Harare Stadium. Brian Bennett and Ben Curran opened the innings for Zimbabwe in their run chase. Brian Bennett was out for the first ball for the Zimbabwe innings, while Brandon Taylor was out on the 4th ball. Both wickets were claimed by Arthur Fernando. He claimed 3 wickets for 50 runs. Dilshan Madhushankar claimed a hat-trick, capturing the 4 wickets for 62 runs. Ben Curran scored 70, while Sikran Raza scored 92 runs. Tony Meanga scored 43 runs for Zimbabwe.
The 49th National Sports Festival commenced today at Dadala Grounds in Galle. The sports festival will continue for 3 days. The inaugural function was held under Minister of Sports Sunil Kumar Gamage and attended by Deputy Minister Sugat Tilakaratna. After the arrival of the honourable guests, the players representing 9 provinces entered the grounds. Badminton player Nilukarna Ratna and athlete Tamara Samantipika lighted the Olympic torch.
විසයි 25 වර්ෂයේ 49 වන ජාතික මහා ක්‍රීඩා උළෙල විවෘත කළ වග මෙසේ ප්‍රකාශ කරමි.
තරග නීති වලට අවනතව නියම ක්‍රීඩකත්වයේ ආරක්ෂා කරමින්
Javelin thrower Sumedha Ranasinghe took the players' oath. Several cultural items were also presented during the inaugural function. The 4x400 meters relay was the final event of the day today. The gold medal was won by the Western Province, while the silver was won by the Southern Province. In this event, the bronze medal was won by the Northwestern Province. Channel I of the National Television brought a live telecast of the inaugural function.
That's it for tonight's English News Telecast. Thank you for joining us. Good night.
Good night.
இலங்கை வரலாற்றில் பல கோடீஸ்வரர்களையும் லட்சாதிபதிகளையும் உருவாக்குவதில் முதல்வனாக இருக்கும் டிஎல்பி இன்றும் உங்களில் பல கோடீஸ்வரர்களையும் லட்சாதிபதிகளையும் உருவாக்குவதற்கு தயாராக இருக்கின்றது. இன்றைய தினமும் உங்கள் அனைவரையும் டிஎல்பி லாட்டரி ஷோவினூடாக சந்திப்பதில் மிக்க மகிழ்ச்சி. இலங்கையின் அதிகூடிய சூப்பர் ஜாக்பாட் பரிசு தொகையான 59 கோடி ரூபாயை கடந்த பெறுமதியை கொண்டிருக்கும் கப்ருக்கு இன்றும் உங்களில் ஒரு அதிர்ஷ்டசாலிக்காக காத்திருக்கின்றது. அந்த வகையிலே இன்று அதிர்ஷ்டமான நாள் ஆகஸ்ட் மாதம் 29ஆம் தேதி. இன்றைய சீட்டெழுப்புகளினூடாக நீங்கள் வெல்ல காத்திருக்கும் சூப்பர் ஜாக்பாட் பரிசு தொகைகளின் பட்டியல் இதோ. முதலில் கப்ருக்க சீட்டெழுப்பின் அதிகூடிய சூப்பர் ஜாக்பாட் பரிசு தொகையானது 59 கோடியே 5,85,482 ரூபாய். அது மாத்திரமின்றி 1 கோடி ரூபாய் பணப்பரிசில்களை 2 சந்தர்ப்பங்களில் வெல்வதோடு மொத்தமாக 61 கோடி ரூபாயை கடந்த சூப்பர் பணப்பரிசில்களை இன்றைய நாளில் நீங்கள் கப்ருக்க சீட்டெழுப்பினூடாக வெல்லலாம். இன்றைய அதகோட்டிபதி சீட்டெழுப்பின் சூப்பர் ஜாக்பாட் பரிசு தொகையானது 8 கோடியே 67,85,466 ரூபாய். இன்றைய சூப்பர் பால் சீட்டெழுப்பின் சூப்பர் ஜாக்பாட் பரிசு தொகையானது 5 கோடியே 54,24,655 ரூபாய். ஷனிதா சீட்டெழுப்பின் சூப்பர் ஜாக்பாட் பரிசு தொகையானது 5 கோடியே 42,67,786 ரூபாய். இன்றைய சுப்பிடி தனசம்பத்து சீட்டெழுப்பின் சூப்பர் ஜாக்பாட் பரிசு தொகையானது 2 கோடியே 30,02,851 ரூபாய். இன்றைய ராசி அதிர்ஷ்டம் சீட்டெழுப்பின் தனயோகத்தின் பெறுமதியானது 80,08,297 ரூபாய். அது மாத்திரமின்றி ஜெயசம்பத்து சீட்டெழுப்பினூடாக 2,50,000 ரூபாய் பணப்பரிசில்கள் மற்றும் சசிரி சீட்டெழுப்பினூடாக ஏராளமான 2 லட்சம் ரூபாய் பணப்பரிசில்களை நீங்கள் வெல்லலாம். ஆகவே இன்றைய சூப்பர் ஜாக்பாட் பரிசு தொகைகளின் ஒட்டுமொத்த பெறுமதியானது 83 கோடியே 85,24,539 ரூபாய். இந்த சூப்பர் ஜாக்பாட் பரிசு தொகைகளுக்கும் மேலதிகமாக ஏராளமான இதர பணப்பரிசில்களோடு சூப்பர் பால் மற்றும் ஷனிதா சீட்டெழுப்பின் செகண்ட் சான்ஸினூடாகவும் ஏராளமான பணப்பரிசில்களை வெல்லக்கூடிய வாய்ப்புகள் இன்றைய நாளில் உங்களுக்காகவே காத்திருக்கின்றன. அப்படியானால் சற்று முன்னர் தேசிய தொலைக்காட்சியின் முதலாவது கலையகத்தில் நடுவர்கள் முன்னிலையில் இடம்பெற்றிருந்த இன்றைய சீட்டெழுப்புகளை பார்வையிடலாம். அதிர்ஷ்டம் உங்கள் கைவசமாக வேண்டும் என்ற வாழ்த்துக்களோடு ஆரம்பிக்கலாம். இது உங்கள் அதிர்ஷ்டத்திற்கான நுழைவாயில் டிஎல்பி லாட்டரி ஷோ. இன்றைய சீட்டெழுப்புகளுக்கான